Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel. And in this video, I'm going to do a quick little garden tour because I finally finished planting my whole vegetable garden and I've got some experiments going that I wanted to share with you. So let's take a look. Okay, here we are outside my greenhouse, and I just want to start off by saying I live on the southern Oregon coast, very, very close to the ocean. And you would think people who live by the ocean, it's like a beach, but here it's not. We get very cool breezes and it never really gets terribly hot. So most of my stuff I have to do in some sort of a greenhouse situation. That being said, let me show you what we've got going on. So there's a little stairway that goes down to the side of the garage there. And I just wanted to show you, I hope you can see it's kind of in the shade. But there's my voodoo lily. I've got to do an update on that. But I had some lemon balm, right there it is. And I took that and I put it in this little planter, and this is like a fake window. We just put that in so that it wasn't just this plain old wall, and I think that looks all right, and I like it there because it seems to do really well. And I wanted to take it out of the regular flower bed because it's like mint, it will just keep growing and take over. And then there's the voodoo lily. I'll do an update on that. And here I've got two little tomatoes. There's one there and there's one there, and these are columbines. I had columbines, they just kind of pop up everywhere and I like them, so I leave them. And then this is all kinds of strawberries that are growing, and I did put kind of a deer netting over it because I've had the deer completely destroy my strawberries before. And I have a little tippy pot thing that's super simple. It's made just with terracotta pots, and there's a piece of rebar stuck in there. And then on the bottom of the pots, I took a little Dremel tool and made like an oval out of the hole on the bottom so that it would fit in there properly. So those are just different herbs. And I also like to put in the little solar lights just because I like it at night to look out and see it lit. And then on this side, I have some hostas. And this one, the columbine, is growing up in the middle of the hosta. That's fine, looks all right. And then I put dill there, and then further down, there's some sage right there. I put that in, more hostas, and then honeysuckle. So, but let me go to the vegetable garden now in the greenhouse. Okay, coming along here in my rooster pot, this is the coolest thing. This herb is called curry. And if you smell the leaves, it smells just like curry, but curry is generally a blend of spices. Now this one on the back of this says it's good in rice, but then when I looked online it said don't eat it. So I'm not going to eat it until I find out more. And then I have these little greenhousey things. And this is an acorn squash in there all by itself. And this, having it in here, you can put your hand in and you can feel it's much warmer. And there's not the cool breeze. So that's really helping that grow. I've got two tomatoes, or potatoes. See, I've got a Yukon Gold in here and I'm growing them in the straw. They have not started sprouting yet, but I hope they do because I've got a Yukon Gold. And then over here is my red Pontiac. So we'll see how those grow. But this is an experiment. So I made these things, I call them greens trees now. So what this is, I have, this one is red leaf lettuce. Over here, this is Swiss chard. And that one is kale. Basically, super simple. All I did was take one of the biggest, it's like 54-inch tall, heavy-duty tomato cage, turn it upside down. And a friend of mine whose husband works in a restaurant got me a bunch of cans. And then all I did was I drilled little holes. Of course, in the bottom, I drilled holes for drainage. And then little holes there. And I attached them. You can see how I attached them. So I can grow 6 lettuce plants in basically a 2-foot space. And 6 Swiss chard and kale. So that's kind of cool. In this other little greenhousey thing, this is a this is a spaghetti squash. And again, it's doing well because it's got that warmth. And I put the straw, this is certified straw, so there's no seeds in it and it's not going to sprout. I do have some over in the artichoke bed that is starting to sprout, but it wasn't this. It was some that I had for my chickens, and I think there were a little bit of alfalfa seeds in there. And then here, my friend gave me this. This is one of the strawberries, supposed to taste like pineapple. So I'm super excited to see how that goes. So that's fun. And now I have one of these hanging planter things. And what I did was I put the little hanging pot planter, little plastic pot things in there. And those are my radishes. So I'm going to be able to just walk up to here and easily pick out some radishes. And I think that's kind of fun. Then I have my little thing here. It's got a strawberry. I need to plant. That's marjoram. Those are chives. Strawberries are doing good this year. Look at that. Nice. Now along the side, like I said, I have to create some sort of a greenhouse situation. I have my raised beds, and I actually have 2 old white clawfoot tubs there. But what I did was I put netting on here, keep the deer out, but I also put just clear shower curtains that I've clipped on there. And when I want to, I can just unclip it, and I can fold these back. If I want to let more breeze through there, I can unclip this and lift the netting back if I want to get in there. But it seems to be doing good. I don't know if you can see over there. See the little melons growing? Those are called Minnesota midget melons, and I'm going to hope those turn out well. I've got one in this and one in this one. I don't see anything happening on this one. I might as well go and put in another seed here just because I don't see anything happening, and according to that one, there should be. I've got some red onions down there, and in these other 2, let me clip this back. There we are. In these other 2 raised beds, I have Brussels sprouts. So these are Brussels sprouts, and there's some little red onions with them. And then I've got some celery in a pot hanging from the side. Now, I know these Brussels sprouts are going to get tall, and I'm going to probably have to take all this off of here, but that's fine. At least to get them started, I know that they're being protected from the elements the way they need to be, and we're doing good. So let me clip this back on there. There we have. Now, I've got another experiment over here in my bathtubs. So I've got the same thing going on with the deer netting and then this plastic to keep it nice and warm in there. So over there, I had an extra zucchini. So I just planted it there. It's doing fine. But in here, what I have is I have these 2 bathtubs. This one has a miniature watermelon, and that one has a zucchini squash. Now, what I did was I saw someone online had put up the tomato cages and is lifting the leaves as they go up to kind of keep them up off the ground and help mitigate things like powdery mildew or any of those kind of things, and get good circulation through and around the plant. Also makes harvesting easier. So this year, that's what I'm trying. And there's my little melon. So hopefully these guys will grow and they'll turn out. But now we're going to go inside to the big greenhouse. All right, I just called Snickers. Do not eat my lettuce. He will grab a lettuce. On these pots, I'm going to go get some of that deer netting, and I'm going to put it over my Snickers to do not eat those things. Anyway, he will eat lettuce. I don't know what his deal is. He will go in my greenhouse and take a whole lettuce plant out. But I think I'm going to drape over some of that deer netting anyway. And here I have rhubarb, and there's another marjoram plant. I love this. And then coming in here, I have a wagon. This is my wagon that I keep stuff in there. There's soil under here. I'm always ready. And my tools. And then here's seeds, and I use this square 1-foot planter thing. But here's what's cool. If you watched my video on don't just eat them, plant them. Snickers, get away from those greens. He literally just ate a Swiss chard. Jeez. Anyway, these are the black beans that I planted, the black-eyed peas, I mean, and you can see they're coming along great. They're going to be fun. These are the light kidney beans. You see that one? See, they're coming up. And those are just the ones you get from the store in the bags, dried beans. The black beans aren't doing great, but I think they're coming around. Here is some limas, and then I had 2 pintos, so I stuck those over there. So we'll see how those do. And what I did with those is I put them in the pots, and then I turned a tomato cage upside down to give them something to grow up. Okay, Then in my beds, I did a lot of companion planting research. And so I have some red onions growing here. And in here, I did the square foot gardening method. So there are 6 cabbage plants going to grow there. In this pot, in this bed, again, I have more of the onions. And I have the Lutz green leaf beets. And on the back, I put how many are in there. So let me look on the back of the little markers. There's 72 beets in this bed. So there'll be 72 beets there. Over there, I didn't have ground space, but I had these green or these black pots. So there's kohlrabi in there, and in there there's some turnips. Over here, this is herbs that I actually planted last year, and they just like it, so I just leave them alone. I've got a whole bunch of purple dragon carrots in there. Over there, I've got some more strawberries, some more herbs. Here I have a banana pepper, and I've already pinched the top off to help it bloom out more. This is a lemon cucumber, and this one is a regal pickler. And in between, I have a square foot of parsnips. And so this is how this looks from a distance. There you go. And now over here, this is a really cool plant. I got this at Territorial Seed in Cottage Grove, Oregon. And this is called a ground cherry. And you can see, I've never grown this, but it looks really cool. There's little tiny, supposed to be little tiny super sweet tomatoes. So I've got that there. And now this final bed here, I have celery. These are all celery around the outside. And this is a green peas, sugar and snap pea green peas. So there's that. And I've got that so that it can grow all the way up there. And now, finally, out here, over here on the side, Snickers, he's laying right in front of where I'm walking. Here's my final thing, and this is Green Beauty snow peas, and I've got them growing in that container, and I've run up that netting up the front of my little side greenhousey thing. I just store equipment in there. But it does have what I did one year, and I probably could grow more in there. I just haven't. I actually have rain gutter along the sides inside of here, and it's got dirt, and this is perfect for things like radishes or herbs or something, but I'm just not using that this year. And then over here, we just had our water line replaced from the well to the house. So I've got this big trench that needs to be dug in or filled up because we finally got that put in there. But those are 8 artichokes. And you can see that straw hay had seeds in it because there's a little green thing. So I'm going to rake all that up, and I'm going to put that certified sterile seed straw down. But there's my 8 artichokes, and they seem to be doing pretty good. So now all I need to do is fill this in. It'll make it a lot easier to mow, that's for sure. And cover these with nets, not just for the deer apparently, but for my dog. But I think those are super clever. It's a good way to grow greens in a limited space. And it makes it mobile, so I could pick this up and take it anywhere. And this is actually be kind of a neat thing to do for, if you're container gardening, if you have small space, live in an apartment, you just have a deck, that kind of stuff. And then the rain barrel is empty. I actually used all the water out of it to start my garden, and because that stump is rotted and it's not sitting even, so now it's empty. And I've got 3 of the cinder block. They're actually chimney cinder blocks, so they're like a square to take that down and set it up on. So there you have my garden. I did a lot of work on that in a few days, but now it's done. And I hope to give you guys progress reports, and we'll see how it turns out. Who knows? It could be a great harvest this year. I'm looking forward to that. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.